And the technique, which is every planet will affect to the 10th house from it, always works. Namaskar everyone. Today I am with you again and I will talk on a small technique that is actually very small, very basic technique, but it is having so much of intense secrets. So when you decode the chart, it will work like a milestone for you. So what is the technique? It is not my technique, it is the technique which is already given, but we should think on that. The technique is every planet, wherever every planet is sitting, from that house, the 10th house will get affected by that planet. It is not the aspect, it is only the internal energy transfer of the planet. So we can say every planet is connected internally with the 10th house from that. And this technique was given by Wasim Sahib. So suppose any planet is in your 5th house. What is your 5th house? 5th house is your intelligence. So 5th house planet will affect in the 2nd house. What is the 2nd house? 2nd house is your accumulated wealth. So we can say whatever thought process is having that person, that native, that thought process will decide how much accumulated wealth he will acquire or how he will keep the accumulated wealth. He will keep accumulated wealth or not. Intelligence will tell how the 2nd house will work. That means 2nd house is the house of food habit. Thought process will tell you which kind of food habit will have the native. Similarly, we can say 1st house planet can give the effect to the 10th house. That's why we can judge profession many of the times only from the lagna. Whatever planet is aspecting the lagna, whatever planet is sitting in the lagna, or to the Chandra lagna, moon lagna, or aspecting the moon lagna, or you can decide the profession of the person most of the time. Not every time, but most of the time. Now, I will share one chart. This is the length chart. Give me 1 second. You can see this chart. Now, what is the technique? Technique is any planet is giving the effect to the 10th house from that position wherever the planet is sitting. Now, suppose any planet is in the 3rd house. Now count 10th house from it. 10th house is 12th house. What is the 3rd house? 3rd house is your subconscious mind. And 12th house is the house of sleep. So that means we know subconscious mind will decide how your sleep will be. It will be well or not. There are some persons who are sleeping, but subconsciously whole night they are thinking. They are just watching a film in a deep dream. That's why after sleep to the 8 hours, they are not very peaceful. Now suppose any planet which is in the 8th house. This 8th house planet will affect to the 5th house. 10th from it. Why? What is the 8th house? 8th house is the house of inheritance. And what is the 5th house? If you are saying 5th house is your upcoming generations, your child. So your inheritance future is in your upcoming generation. Again, 8th house is the house of longevity and 5th house is the house of stomach. So we know that if our stomach is working very better, our longevity will be good. In a general way, one line is there that money will attract more money. That is the, you can say this is the slogan. But see, second house is your accumulated wealth. 10th house from it. What is this? Which you are getting daily. So that means if you have much wealth in the second house, you can create much wealth in the 11th house. Now, another thing is that second house, and from that 10th house, if you will count, it is 11th house. Now, suppose second house Venus is there in any chart. So Venus second house, you can say Venus is the lord of natural second house. So it can give lot of money. General thing. I'm not talking about the complete chart. But if the fifth house is having a planet, that will decide how you will accumulate, what way you will accumulate the wealth. Like Saturn is in the fifth house. If Saturn is in the fifth house, second house there is Venus, so you will not accumulate much wealth because you have the thinking that what we will do after accumulating the wealth. Because Saturn is the planet, you can say, who is not having habit to accumulate the thing. Fourth house planet, suppose fourth house malefic planets are there. Sometimes they affect to the native. 10th house from that. They can affect to the peace of mind of the native. Now look into this chart. See, fourth house, there is 7 number and Venus Mercury is there. If you will, there is no effect on the Lagna. There is no aspect on the Lagna. Fourth house planet Mercury and Venus. If you will look into this chart, this person is a CA working as a market analyst. So Mercury is there, 7th number sign is there, and Venus is also there, who is giving all the significations regarding this. 7th house is the house of market also. 7 number sign is there. Finance, if we are taking finance here, Venus is the lord of natural second house. So you can see the effect in this chart. This is the profession of the person. I am not saying this technique will always work, but most of the time this technique will work. And the technique which is every planet will affect to the 10th house from it always works. Now see this chart. For 10th house effect, we will take Venus and Mercury from second house, and 10th house from that is 11th number house. 11th number house is having 7 number sign, which is the house of partnership, partner, sometimes spouse, or relationship like a spouse. Mars is there. Mars is the lord of 5th house of love affair. Also the lord of 12th house. Moon is there, who is the lord of 8th house. Saturn is there, who is the lord of second house again. Now take the Venus and Mercury in the second house. So I am saying this Mercury and Venus and Saturn, Moon and Mars are connected. That means this Venus and Mercury giving the effect to the 11th house and the 7 number sign. 11th house means fulfillment of desire. There is the Moon, who is having the 8th house, and 5th house Lord Mars is there. Intimate relationship should be with someone, because Venus is giving the effect to these planets. Again, because Mars is there, Mars is the lord of 5th house, love affair, intimate love affair. Again, Mercury is in the second house. Mercury is the lord of 10th house, which house is the 6th house from 5th house. So the story was, he had a love affair with a female, and she died in accident in the early age. So you can see Mercury is there. Now accident, you can see Mars and the 8th house Lord Moon. In the accident, there will be flow of blood. So Moon and Mars is there. Saturn is in the 7th number sign. Saturn is the Lord of 3rd house also. Short travels. So while doing short travels, this person's lover died with an accident. You can see Mercury is again the Lord of the 7th house here. So can you see how the story is working? If you will look into this, 2nd house and 11th house is connected. Now, here you can see 2nd house is the house of family. 11th house is the house of fulfillment of desire. We cannot say in the looking to this chart that this kind of things can happen to the native. He was about to create a family with that girl, but it was not happened because of the accident. So like you can see, every planet will affect to the 10th house. You can judge that by checking on the chart. So I will request to all of you, please test this technique and give me the feedbacks in the comment box. Later, very soon, I will come with the new technique, with the new insight of astrology. Thank you.